He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. But the man behind the legend did not live at the North Pole. He lived here, under the scorching sun of the southern Turkey. Forget the red suit and reindeer. Before the Coca-Cola smile and the workshop elves, there was a bishop who defied emperors, fought heresy, and, if the stories are true, punched a man in defense of his faith. So, how does this fiery bishop become a symbol of kindness and cheer? To find out, we trade snow for sand and follow the wind to the ancient shores of Lycia. To find the real Santa, we start where his story began, not in a workshop, but in a powerful Roman city called Patara. Around 270 CE, in the coastal city of Lycia, a boy named Nicholas was born under Roman rule.
Welcome to ancient Patara, the hometown of famous Saint Nicholas, or aka Santa Claus. This city was mentioned in the Bible in the book of Acts when Paul was actually using this port to sail back to Jerusalem. And also this is the place where Saint Nicholas was born. Right below me is the theater, and then there's the Odeon over there, and far in the distance is the city gates, and then on this side is the fort, and right behind me over there it is the lighthouse from the Emperor Nero. He built a lighthouse here. This was a substantial city with a very important harbor. However, the harbor silted up and there's just a nice beach today.
From this gateway came a child whose fate would echo across centuries. To see where his calling took shape, we must travel east to Myra. If Patara was his beginning, Myra was his proving ground, a bustling port where grain ships from Egypt supplied the Roman world. By early 300 CE, Nicholas has become Bishop of Myra, guiding a persecuted Christian community during the reign of Emperor Diocletian.
This city behind me has something that no other cities in the world has: the footsteps of the Apostle Paul and the origins of Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas was born in a different city not too far from here, but he was actually served as a bishop here. And right behind me is a theater, and in the distance and also on the side over there, they are Lycinian tomb. This was one of the cities from the Lycinian League. It was also one of the footsteps of a representative democracy, something that James Madison and Thomas Jefferson were admiring when they were writing the Constitution of the United States. The city was ruled by Lycinians, then later by the Greeks, and then Romans, and then later by the Eastern Roman Empire or the Byzantine.
Here, Nicholas became a defender of sailors, orphans, and the poor. He lived in the dangerous times, yet answers violence with compassion. His secret gift turned fear into hope, and hope into legend. To see how that legend endured, we step inside a church that still bears his name.
This is the church of Saint Nicholas, or as most of you will know him as Santa Claus. Saint Nicholas was a bishop at this church in the 4th century. He was also one of the founders of Christianity. Punch Arius at the Council of Nicaea when they had a rough debate about Christ's divinity. He was the one who helped develop the Nicene Creed, which is confessed through all the Christian churches today. He was a protector of the poor. There's a story about him throwing coins through the window of a family who was about to sell their daughters into slavery and prostitution. And when he died, he was buried here in this church. However, before the Crusaders started in 1087, some Italian merchants from Bari came and stole his bones and took them there as a sacred object for veneration. There were some bones left, and then some Venetians came in 1100s and they also took them away. So even in his death, he was highly venerated and respected. Later on, Coke decided to have his name acclamated with a red, happy, merry, fat man. That is Saint Nicholas. He was actually a real bishop who lived and preached right in this church. This church dates to the 6th century. It was later restored by the Russian archaeologists, but the flooring is still from the original 4th century. So this is the floor where actually Saint Nicholas walked.
Nicholas died on December 6, 343 CE, around the age of 70. His body was laid to rest in this very church. Pilgrims called him the Wonder Worker. Kings and crusaders fought for his relics. Holiness had become currency, and Nicholas was priceless. Centuries passed and his story grew. In medieval Europe, his feast on December 6th would become a day for secret gifts. Dutch sailors carried Santa Claus to America, and in 1931 Coca-Cola gave him the red suit and the smile we know today. A bishop became a brand. But behind the snow and lights stands a man who gave when no one was watching. A man who defended truth, fought corruption, and changed the meaning of generosity forever. We've uncovered the real Nicholas, the bishop, the brawler, the secret giver, but he's only one of many legends buried beneath centuries of myth. History hides stories worth digging for. What legend should we uncover next? Let me know below.
If you like this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and most importantly, keep digging.